global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Global Happenings Today YouTube channel. Nigerians were shocked, especially Labour Party, where they discovered that the ruling of the judiciary was in favor of Peter Mbah, who in fact not only did they not award him the winner and also said that his NYSC certificate was genuine, they also fined NYSC as an agency for bringing such allegations 5 million naira, even though the director actually came on subpoenaed in the court hearing, insisting that the certificate, NYSC certificate that Peter Mbah brought to INEC in his form EC8, that it was actually forged. Well, Labour Party, Peter will be there to react to it, and I can assure you, Peter will be made up his mind as he's going to definitely be in the main opposition while this matter is on, even though the case in the court is concluded, but that of Nigerian matter is not, and they have started already in earnest. But before we go to the newspaper to find out what Labour Party is saying, like and subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button beside it to see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Now, the Labour Party has described the Monday's ruling of the Abuja High Court on NYSC certificate forgery case involving the governor of the Enugu State barrister Peter Mbah as bizarre and unconventional. Now, the party in a statement said that the ruling of Justice Inyangekwo is yet another of some strange rulings of the court aimed at ridiculing the nation's judiciary and undermining our democracy. The Abuja court pretended not to know many facts about the case, including that it's a matter that came up before the Court of Appeal in Lagos the same day he delivered the unusual judgment. Now, Justice Ukwo not only slammed a 5 million naira fine against NYSC and ordered it not to disown Mbah's forged certificate, but ruled that Mbah not only served, but that the certificate he has was issued by NYSC, that said it's not from them. Now, by the ruling, his lordship in Abuja fringed in ignorance of multiple pieces of the evidence already produced in court to show that Mbah was a chief of staff to the governor of Enugu State at the time he claimed he was performing national service in a firm in Lagos. The judge also refused to recognize the fact that the forged certificate Mbah is parading does not bear any resemblance in coding and font to those he passed out the year he claimed. The Labour Party recalled how Mbah made frantic effort through this very court to stop NYSC from coming to disown a forged certificate being carried on its name during the tribunal hearing of his case in Enugu until an appeal court in Abuja ordered it to go. The same Justice Ukwo, at the time when the Enugu Governorship Election Tribunal was constituted, granted Mr. Peter Mbah of the PDP an expert injunction that he sought, which effectively barred NYSC from going to the tribunal to testify. Now, the expert order was illegally sustained beyond the permissible life of the expert to the point where NYSC could not properly respond to the invitation of PRP to give testimony. Now, the state of affairs persisted into the life of the tribunal until Labour Party in mid-July approached the Court of Appeal, which graciously ordered NYSC to obey the subpoena of the Enugu Governorship Election Tribunal. Now, the Labour Party said that by that ruling on Monday, the Abuja court is trying to use itself as a vehicle to destroy a credible federal institution like NYSC and one that it will have a far-reaching consequences. Now, Justice Ukwo ruling also failed to take into cognizance several legal authorities of superior courts that issuing authority remains the final on authenticating certificates. And the Labour Party said that the objective of this offbeat and curious ruling is essentially to ambush and weaken the case of well-led points by its humanitarian flag bearer, Honorable Chijioke Ediaga, whom the voting population of Enugu State voted for overwhelmingly. The Labour Party therefore asked the judiciary to save itself from anything that will undermine the will of the people of Enugu State, as freely expressed to a very great degree on March 8, 2023. This is signed by Obiora Efo. the National Publicity Secretary, Labour Party. Haba. This is getting interesting. My colleague is in the house. I want to look at this expressively because, saying that the justice was really, I don't understand it. The originating agency says that certificate did not emanate for NYSC. That is not our font size, and that is not what we gave during that year. And they even said the year that he claimed to have served, he was actually in governance. He was one of the secretary to whatever during his time, and before he became started vying for the governorship of Enugu State, which means he really never served. He claimed he served in Lagos, but he was actually in Enugu doing governance, really, because then he was an aide or something. Now, with all this, and with the same Justice Inyang, the same lead justice that pronounced the final nail that nailed the coffin of the presidential petition, electoral petition at presidential, and is now in this Peter Mbah matter. What's your take on this drama unfolding?
Hello. Well, the issue there is that Supreme Court knows their power. They know that they have the final say. Unfortunately, the people that should be promoted to the position of the Supreme Court judges should be people or judges that have a track record of integrity, have a track record of giving very sound judgment and all of that. I'm not trying to discredit anybody, but based on a lot of things that have happened thus far, if you get someone who is not a man of integrity or has not been giving very good and perfect judgment to the pinnacle of judiciary, then we are going to see some precedences that tomorrow most people, it will be a laughing stock from if read or considered in the law school. Why am I saying this? Inyang is Supreme Court judge, and whatever he says is final. But if you look at it in the light of some of the evidences that were brought forward against the Enugu State governor, you will know that particular judgment in public opinion is erroneous, being that there are certain issues that were not considered. How can you bring a document and we compare it side by side with the document signed by other people, issued to other people? And yours has a different front sides with their own. And you want me, to say yours was okay? Absolutely no.
The issue here is that on that font, it's not just the font. Justice,
the number.
The justice is saying literally warning and fining NYSC for daring to reject the certificate. And now the NYSC is saying this certificate is not originating from us. You can't tell us what is originating from us. We are the originating body. So we are saying that this is not originally from us.
I feel what Inyang would have called for is, let us have more than 200 sample of this certificate, NYSC certificate that's what I feel he would have said.
In the appeal court, they brought out other certificate of his time and brought out his own and compare and contrast the font size, everything was different, the coding, everything was totally different. They even brought the current one to check and compare and contrast. There was no coding of such in their database. And the funny part is that period where he claimed he was serving in Lagos State, he was actually an aide in Enugu.
No, it's possible. It's possible. I've seen situations whereby people will pretend to be serving in a particular place, and some of them will go as far as giving up their own allowances to their, the man in charge, LO. I think that was our liaison officers. That's a COP member liaison officer, CLO. They'll give it up. And the guy will just be signing for them that they did their due diligence.
So the corruption began that period.
So that one can be handled somehow, Some of them will even go talk to their own employers. That's the NYSC employers, and say, man, this is the situation on ground. The guy can say, okay, a lot of corruption do happen there. So that one is possible. You understand? You can be working here and you don't want to give up on your job to go do the service, but you can be like I'm working here, I still run back to my place of primary assignment, I do one or two things and come back again. There can be that understanding established between you and your NYSC employer. But the most important thing here that invalidates that document is the fact that comparing it alongside
the originating body says it's not from them.
You understand?
QED.
Yes, our originating body, let's say the originating body is corrupt somehow, because it do happen that maybe they are corrupt or they want to frustrate you or something. Most salient thing to do or reasonable thing to do is everybody's this thing NYSC document for that graduated from that year in Lagos State. Let us see it. You keep it, bam. Keep the guy's own. Begin to compare the font, the alphabet fonts, and all of that.
The appeal.
Yes, immediately that is settled. I think that is what will invalidate it or will validate that document. But if you refuse to even consider it, something is wrong somewhere. Maybe you did not go to NYSC, or maybe you have not handled enough case to realize that critical thinking should align you with this thing, That's why I say whoever that is taken to that level to be a Supreme Court judge, he must have passed through a lot of tests, must have also handled a lot of cases. The person must also not be a greedy person or something, a lot of things to talk about, but I think that's where I just like to leave it.
I guess I will go wrap it up. Well, let's just hope that as things and events unfold, Nigerians will not keep losing their confidence and trust in our judiciary. Even the last judge, that Supreme Court judge that retired, opened up a lot of canker on the level of corruption going on in the judiciary. This is even coming from their very own, speaking very strongly against the corruption that he left as against when he came into the judiciary arm. Let's go wrap it.